All right. Hey, we're just going to start the show. You know why? The damn theme song has disappeared. I don't know. This is what I'm talking about. In my Farrago, my theme is not there anymore. How? Why? I mean, I have everything else. I have this. I have the funky loop. Oh, wait, now I can't even hear it. Oh, here we go. That could be the new theme. It's time for it's very special Tarabuster on a Monday night. The worst day of the rest of our lives. Welcome to hell, America. You asked for it, you got it. Here it comes. And I hope it doesn't hurt too little. You'll get what you voted for. Unfortunately, good people will be hurt too. All right. Oh, brother. I don't know what's happening in my life. Why? I have Republican gremlins in the machine. Let's see, what other buttons do I need to push? Okay, so we're having some group therapy tonight. If I see the chat room filling up. If you're on wherever the hell you might be, come on over to youtube.com/c4channel/Tarabuster to hang out with the greatest patriots in American history. Some of them. Not everybody's here at this moment. It's a surprise. I rarely do a show on a Monday. So it's really for, I don't know. I need it. This is like group therapy. So let's get Robyn/Roxanne on the phone. Let me see. Don't you hate when you start your podcast and your theme song is missing from your Farrago through no fault of your own? Who took my theme song out? I need a meeting with my producers. No one's gonna cop to it though. Okay, let's see. I got a call. Here we go. I just have to give her a heads up. Here we go. Okay. Bing bong boom. Bing bong boom. Bing bong boom. Ding dong doom. Ding dong doom. I hear a lot of rumbling.
Just 1 second.
Okay. We got Robyn on the phone.
No, I'm here. I'm here. Let the bells ring out, the banners fly. It's too good to be true, but I'm here. Feast your eyes on me.
Does everybody hear the Skype feed? Oh, you're beautiful.
Thank you. I figured I'd wear black today.
I know. Oh, wait, hold on.
You're wearing black, too.
I am. Trying to split this screen. What the fuck? I have to figure this out. I'm wearing a SGI. It says never give up shirt, so...
Right.
I do that sometimes when
Never give up, never surrender. Always for people.
What is that?
No, that's from Galaxy Quest.
Oh, I don't know that. I never saw that movie. I'm sorry. Let me see.
Oh, you're gonna be inundated now.
I know.
You've never seen Galaxy Quest?
Right. Wait, what the fuck is going on here? Can't see any of my controls. I'm trying to do my split screen. Why isn't it splitting the screen? Everything's when I started the show. See, now you're in a picture-in-picture. I'll figure it out. But I didn't have my theme song. My theme song was gone. The open was gone. Yeah, from my Farrago. So I don't know. This is the shit that happens when you're doing a liberal media show, I guess, because we don't have big billionaire benefactors.
No, sorry, fresh out of those. Yeah.
Right, here we go. That's better.
Nobody giving us stiff arm salutes with a bunch of cash in their hand.
God, I'm so... And thank you for agreeing to do the show today.
No thanks necessary.
Yeah, because I generally don't do a show on Mondays, but I think this is a different kind of day for all of us. We need to. I'm
Well,
really
it very much
depressed.
is.
Yeah, I'm really. I mean, very. I could feel the weight of doom. So, and that's. I mean, I didn't watch any of the media except, well, for about 20 seconds, and I was telling you that I turned on CNN for about 20 seconds. Excuse me, I'm still recovering from my cold. And they I don't know who it was. I just heard them going on about how, well, it makes sense how he would want the flags raised at full staff, and then, no big deal, just lower them tomorrow and bring them back to half staff. I could see why he would want that. Like, shut the fuck up.
So does that mean Jimmy Carter's memory gets an extra day?
Exactly. Or, I mean, it's good enough for other presidents. As we know, Nixon took the oath when the flags were at half staff, honoring Truman, but he didn't have a little bitch fit about it, a whiny little bitch fit.
Let's just come to an agreement. Well, we can balance the equation. And when Nitwit Nero shuffles off this mortal coil, his entire existence having been nothing but sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Yep.
And we put him in a box and drop it in a hole filled with piss and shit.
Yes.
Then we won't lower the flag for him.
Right.
Okay.
I hope not. I won't.
That's fair.
I won't. I mean, that's the other thing I keep thinking about too, because you know how what they did with the Reagan Legacy Project, how they tried to, and they were very successful, getting his name on all sorts of everything, including the airport in Washington, D.C. and whatnot.
Which I still refuse to refer to by his name.
Yeah. And
National Airport.
Right. But they're going to do that with this piece of dirt, too. That's for sure.
They'll probably name it. I think the most appropriate naval vessel to name after him would be a garbage scow.
Yeah, I hope so.
Probably a nuclear aircraft carrier or a nuclear submarine after. But we don't name submarines after people, I don't think.
But I just think that, well, actually, now that I'm saying this, I don't know. I don't quite know, because it might be worse than we think. Even though, it may not, it may end up that no one wants to name anything after this asshole, and he is quickly buried into the dustbin of history as quick as possible.
Well, and that's one thing we have to take into consideration, Tara. There's a reason that that people who have been president generally don't like to skip a term and then be president again.
You're fine. We're both sick.
Ugh.
Getting over our sicknesses, everybody.
Oh, God, it's just gross. But the only other president having done this was Grover Cleveland.
Oh, right. Okay.
And you'll notice, if you look at history, there's not a lot to talk about Grover Cleveland about.
Yeah.
And so he was president, then he lost, and then he was president again. Well, what happens when in that circumstance is you are a lame duck on day one. Now, he may think he is behaving like a dictator on day one.
He thinks that's why I don't understand, and I also want to talk to you about, because you know more about stuff like this, the technicalities of everything, of law and government. But who the fuck is he, right? He's not the king. He doesn't get to overturn a constitutional amendment with a goddamn executive order.
No.
I mean, who the fuck is he? He says, I don't know if he did it yet, because this is the thing that were going on all day that was putting me in the pits of despair. As much as I was not watching the corporate media, it kept coming up over my phone. You know, the
Yeah, same. I've
notifications,
been
like
seeing the
bing,
same thing
bing,
all day
bing.
long.
Yeah. So the executive order, Trump will sign. I don't know if he signed it. All I saw was that Trump will sign an executive order declaring, birthright citizenship, the end of birthright citizenship. That's in the Constitution. I mean, okay,
That's in
I
the,
could.
yeah, it's 14th Amendment.
Yeah, I might as well declare something too. I mean, it has about as much weight, I would imagine. But and then the other thing is with TikTok, who the fuck is he? I mean, the whole thing started with him anyway,
Yeah,
going
and
on about TikTok, right? Probably because he didn't understand what it was and all that. And also,
and what it was, and people were saying mean things about him.
yes, and that's it. But I tend to agree with in a lot of ways. And I'm not about banning TikTok. I just think that it's pretty nefarious to have the Chinese Communist Party in our data like this, and they know exactly what they're doing. They're not, they're not sincere actors here. They're trying to undermine the United States, and one of the ways they have different rules for TikTok in their home country. In China, for example, children can't access entertainment they can access it certain hours of the day, but they can only access, and when they do, they can only access educational material. They can't access, fluff and bullshit. So they want their kids, I guess, to study and not fall into a pit where they're all day distracted by this nonsense. And the other thing is, of course, TikTok, there is no fact checking on there. It's just a bunch of people saying the shit that
just a bunch of people sitting around rapping.
Yeah, and there's no accountability, of course. But so the owning TikTok or whatever, or forcing the Chinese to sell TikTok, I'm sure you heard that Traitor Trump has proposed nationalizing it. I mean, isn't that what the fuck? Socialism,
we're
101.
We're going to socialize TikTok.
Right.
How lovely.
I mean, that's the very definition of socialism, too.
Yeah, sure. But let's take a minute and ponder that, shall we? So we socialize TikTok using federal money to pay for it. Then it becomes the property of the United States government.
Mm-hmm.
And that would effectively make it fall within the executive branch.
Oh, shit. Yeah, well, that's why, right?
And that would make it his.
Yes. Well, they already, I don't know if you saw, another executive order was defunding or disbanding the public broadcasting or Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Yeah. How the fuck? I mean, you could just go booga, 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 you're gone. What the fuck?
Once upon a time, there was a court system in this country, something that we laughably called a judiciary.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to say that John Roberts was the smartest Republican in the United States because he could uphold laws in such a way as to make it acceptable to Republicans and make it look like the Democrats were the bad people. The one that comes to mind most immediately is the Affordable Care Act. Well, no, you can't. This is not constitutional as a function of the interstate commerce or any other congressional power, but it is constitutional under Congress's power to tax.
What is?
The Affordable Care Act. That's what
okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
and it was
right,
it was brilliant on his part.
Right.
Because, that's Democrats raising your taxes.
Right. There you go.
Did these clowns even think about it when they gave him the immunity power that they gave him last summer? Because, for instance, with the TikTok thing, and I was talking about this at the beginning of the program, and maybe I'm just beating a dead horse. I don't know. What you said is absolutely true. You can't just wave a wand and make a constitutional principle go away.
Right.
And the constitutional principle at play here is Marbury versus Madison, which establishes that the Supreme Court of the United States is the final word on what is and is not constitutional. Now, this bill got passed and signed into law, regardless of what you think of it. It was the bill. The law was upheld as being constitutional in a per curiam opinion, which means nobody actually signed off on it. It may have been a unanimous decision for all we know.
Okay.
But nobody wanted to actually put their name on the opinion. So,
on the immunity opinion.
No. We're talking.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm getting lost because I'm like looking at 10 different screens while listening to you.
I understand. I wander. I'm just out here wandering in the pasture. Moo. But the thing is, he has said that basically what he's doing via TikTok is to say that whatever the Supreme Court said does not matter.
Right.
And that he will do as he wishes. Now the question is somebody going to take this through the court system, back up to the Supreme Court for them to tell him no?
With fucking TikTok. I mean, like, he just tweets or whatever he, tripes. Save TikTok. And that's it. And then
when 4 years ago he was screaming TikTok, the TikTok to Linda S.
Yes, and who taught him that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, where the fuck, he doesn't know shit from a history book or he
didn't even know what TikTok was.
That's what he actually tweeted or posted.
No.
Oh, okay. I was shocked to hear. I thought that
TikTok to Linda S.
That's why I'm like, wait a minute, that's Trump did that?
Sorry.
Somebody must have.
I think maybe we're all a bubble off plum today.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, that means,
TikTok
that was
must be destroyed.
Yes.
Cato the Elder.
Right.
Cartago delenda est. And he was such a bore about it that eventually Romans stopped inviting him to their orgies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did they even have orgies? That's the other thing, though. I don't think they had orgies, though. That's
Probably not.
That's a myth made up by the Christians back when they were trying to have supremacy over the so-called pagans. So they made up a lot of shit about the Romans because they were very modest, in fact. But even they were very patriarchal. All the laws Augustus passed about morality and how to behave and what he sounds like. He's like a perfect J.D. Vance, really. What women should do, what men should do.
All the stuff that was in the Res Gestae.
Yeah, but and in fact, even the stories of Nero, which are, it's true, where he would invite senators over for dinner and then he would go and have sex with their wives and then come back and describe what he thought of it. Was that Nero or Caligula? No, I think it might have been Caligula. But anyway, he took them to another room. They weren't doing it in front of each other. So
no, I get that.
Anyway,
but no, those two things. Whoever thought that the idea of the Supreme Court as the final arbiter of what is constitutional would die over a stupid app with 30-second videos on it.
Unbelievable. That's why, and I've been thinking about, articles and videos to do and all this other shit. But I've been thinking today more than ever that the monumental shitstorm that is upon us because of propaganda. And we're here specifically because of propaganda. Period. Joe Biden is leaving this baboon a very good country on the upswing, just like Obama left him before that he fucked it up. And in fact, Biden mentioned it, and of course, I'll take Biden's word over the con man. And he said that Trump said to him, "Oh yeah, you're leaving me in good shape and all that." Hey! The cats are fighting, and yeah. So I don't know. They're getting on my nerves today. Yeah, but So, he said it to him because that's who Trump is, because he's not a very strong person. He doesn't like confrontation. He's not the guy that says you're fired, you're fired. That's all myth too, because he leaves all the hard work to other people because he's a little bitch. That's really the truth. He's a baby little fragile thing. And of course, when he was with Biden alone, I'm sure he said, because he wants him to like him. And he's not strong, so he's not going to sit there and and to his face call him, oh, Sleepy Joe, or tell him, the lies about what a horrible country, all the destruction and all that doesn't exist. He's going to say, oh, you're leaving me a good, because there's no fucking doubt. There's math, there's our own eyes. I mean, and it made me think about of course, the problem is, it made me think, well, I'm all over the place, but it made me think about how the country has been, because of right-wing propaganda, that they have, these right-wingers, they don't want to, like, burden themselves about anything. They wouldn't, you think about the times in American history, or like buy war bonds, or sacrifice this, or don't eat, don't wear pantyhose, or these pricks wouldn't put themselves out 1 inch out of the way to do something for their country. They wouldn't, they wouldn't, conserve energy. I was watching a speech that Jimmy Carter gave, and he was urging the American people, we're going to have to conserve energy because the energy crisis, because oil, the OPEC was restricting, they had us against the wall in regard to oil. And Jimmy Carter was trying to set us up for success. And he was saying, we're gonna build a solar bank. We're gonna be away from foreign oil by the year 2000, and we'll have this amount of energy. Will be completely away from oil. It'll all be renewables.
And we can tell those shithead Saudis to go piss
exactly. And he was urging the American people that now's the time that we, put your thermostat down, and if it's, wear a sweater.
And the speech was actually well received. Within a couple of days, the multimillionaire media started calling it the malaise.
Exactly. It got high marks. Yep.
Word malaise did not appear anywhere in his remarks.
Exactly. Because
by a media institution that for one reason or another felt like it had some sort of an axe to grind with Jimmy Carter.
Yeah. And it's continued to this day with these Republicans. I mean, they should really get out more. Go look at a country that you have to sacrifice, I mean, these people, they turn on their tap, the water is clean, their buildings aren't falling down on their heads, they're driving roads that are, I mean, it's like all of the trappings of civilization. And they don't want to fucking pull a hair for this country. That's what pisses me off. They wouldn't put on a sweater. They wouldn't, think about what would have happened after September 11th. If we were attacked, who knows if we would have been attacked if Al Gore was in the office, by the way.
I've argued forever that there's no 9/11 because you don't have someone in the Oval Office who's going to take the Hart-Rudman report and pass it off to Brownie.
Yep.
His last job before FEMA was president of the Arabian Horse Association.
Yes, and patting the guy on the ass or whatever and saying, you covered your ass, you can go back to Washington now. Osama bin Laden determined to strike within the United States. And then, of course, we get the hearings. Oh, nobody imagined that they would use planes as weapons or whatever.
I'll watch this drive.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I realize we're talking about things that happened, 23 years ago, 24 years ago, but it matters.
Yes, it's all connected.
What happened then is why what is happening now is happening.
Yes. Absolutely. And it's sickening that what we're up against. And maybe this is, I thought the first time was the wake-up call. No, it's coming. And the only thing that concerns me, well, not the only, it's just that all the good people that are going to be hurt. I mean, he's going to write an executive order. I don't know if he did already, that there are only two genders.
Yeah,
Did
that's
you know
already
that?
Yeah.
Oh, he did that already?
Yeah.
I mean, I can write a fucking executive order that the sun comes up in the west and rises, or, sets in the whatever, rises, you know what I'm saying? Or
Yes.
the moon is the center of the universe.
What? That's exactly, because that's another one of those things that he did. Fucker has signed an executive order saying, it is now the Gulf of America.
Okay, bitch, whatever.
And it's back to being Mount McKinley again. Like
Oh my God. You tedious. What the fuck does that have to do with the price of eggs? And then they're going on about civility, these assholes, right? Oh, and I didn't hear the speech, but just this excerpt saying, he wants to be civil. And right as they're talking, as Biden was meeting this asshole for tea, Biden and Dr. Jill would be, the fuckers released some from the Republican. What's that?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the hostages. No.
Oh, no. They released a video that was all about how get out of our house and, eviction day, against Sleepy Joe to go to, his old age home. And that's your civility. That's your Republican civility. It's a one-way street where Democrats, that's how you compromise with Republicans. Democrats give them everything they want. And they just say, yes, sir, I'm a fucking doormat, without any complaints, because that's what they say. That's what being a Republican, that's civility to a Republican, is Democrats don't pester them and expect them to be decent, Anyway, hold on. Sorry. I know, we're both looking at our phones.
I can't go to my mail on my screen because I don't want to go away from you. But I want to go back, because as terrifying as what is going forward for women like me, and men and non-binaries, what is the 14th Amendment action is terrifying. The bigoted executive orders declaring that there are only two genders, blah 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 blah, which, by the way, completely erases intersex people.
Right. Of
we
course.
are no one is responsible for the chromosomal makeup of their existence, but there are XXY.
Yes.
YY. There's like 90 different variations on chromosomal makeup. Well, they've just been erased by our
well, hey, I hear you. But they haven't been erased. They're still here.
Yeah,
they exist.
They're still here, but the administrative erasure does matter, okay, because it affects being able to get health care.
Yes.
It affects being able to have somewhere to live. Theoretically, under Bostock, you cannot discriminate against someone who's trans because they're trans, but the functional meaning of that is you just have to come up with another reason that's legal to not hire them.
Right.
Oh, it's not because you're trans.
Yeah, of course. Right. It's because you don't, whatever. It doesn't matter. Some bullshit.
And people of color have experienced this for years.
Yes, of course. And they've done many studies on this. The same resumes. They just put a name, like Joe Schmo, Joe Smith, and then they'll put like LaQuisha something or other, something that sounds, or LaQuisha Jackson or Washington, and they are the person with the not white sounding name is passed over, even though they have the same exact credentials and experience and all that. Yep. And also when they did with the Philharmonic, they were like, oh, we're just picking the best musicians, and then they started to audition people behind a screen where they didn't see them, they could only hear them. And funny enough, it was a wide mixture of musicians got hired then, not just the men.
Well, and I want to go on from that. I mean, I don't know if I can fully contemplate the horror that they want to inflict on the LGBTQ plus community. I don't know that I've fully wrapped my head around that. But it is fundamental to this country. The 14th Amendment, Section 1 of the 14th Amendment, basically codified what we had kind of known all along. If you're born here, you're an American. And what maggots and other forms of the Republicans and conservatives like to say is, well, you know, Congress only meant that to apply to recently the freed black people. Now, there's actual notes on the debate of the 14th Amendment in which they said, no, 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 this means everybody. This isn't just specific to this point in time, you know, post-Civil War. It's going to mean if you're born here, you're an American. And so with that in mind, the text of of Section 1 of the 14th Amendment, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, yada, yada, yada. But all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. Pretty plain. And for instance, the courts, when they engage in statutory interpretation, are supposed to rely upon the plain language of the statute or the language of the Constitution. You know, it doesn't say in there, all persons born or naturalized in the United States who were former slaves.
Right. Sure.
It says all persons.
But that doesn't, I mean, do you see what I'm saying? Like, they must.
I do, but I want to put a little more flesh on the bone here. Because, again, you know, we said a few minutes ago that you can't have today without what happened 24 years ago.
You're right.
Well, it has been a fetish object of the right wing going back to probably the John Birch days, that there needed to be an end to birthright citizenship because of what they called anchor babies. And that is babies who are born in the United States to people who are non-citizens.
Like my father was an anchor baby.
Trump is an anchor baby.
Oh my God, really?
Because I don't know when Mary became a citizen.
That's true. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. No, my grandmother came here pregnant with my father and had him here, so she can bring everybody over.
And of course, the last time through, they were barking and grunting about chain migration.
Yeah. Oh well. Except that's what they use. Yeah.
And then as quickly as Nitwit Nero got Melanoma's parents over here.
Yes, exactly.
Then it was okay to go after chain migration.
Well, that's the thing, though. This is what I mean. They want all the benefits of civilization and all the policies that liberals fought and, and passed despite Republican opposition. And they just don't want to have them extend to anybody but themselves. They will use it. They're fine. That's good.
Because they're white.
Yes. That's it.
Ending birthright citizenship is about ending brown citizenship.
That's it. Because they see the demographic shifts. And that is terrifying to them.
And meanwhile, you've got Leon Scum and
Yep.
And we whack ram ding dong out there barking and grunting about how American workers aren't
I know. It's so offensive. They're
don't
just
work
not
hard enough.
creative. They're not
Not
intelligent.
driven. Yeah, whatever.
Right. The lazy. That's because American workers fought, bled, and died to have standards. You can't work in an
Basic human
80-hour week without getting paid, or there has to be the 40-hour work week, which was something that the Democrats passed for the entire country. I don't know why they don't take ownership of the policies, but okay.
Once upon a time in the steel mills of Pittsburgh, the work week was 84 hours long.
Yeah.
You got Sunday off so you could go to church and be told not to join a union.
Right. And those days are coming back. This is what Musk wants with these H-1 visas.
But here's the thing about these H-1B visas. The people who come over here on an H-1B visa come over here in hopes of getting to stay.
Yes.
They don't want to go back. And they tend to create families.
Mm-hmm.
And they want their families, they want their children to be American citizens.
Right.
Well, are you going to want to come over here on an H-1B visa if you wind up with kids and they're not citizens of the country?
Exactly. This is what they are. They are not setting us up for success, to put it mildly. It was like Reagan said, one of the great aspects of America is that we're forever young. We're always we bring the best over. The people from all over the world want to come here and live here and contribute to this country. Mm-hmm. And that's not a bad thing. And I always say that no one appreciates freedom more than those who risked everything to obtain it.
Yes.
And these Republicans who hate immigrants because even though their parents or their grandparents were immigrants, they're trying to make us as small as they are. Somebody, and you got to think that somebody that comes here from one of these shithole countries, or let's say, or a country that with a failed state that we helped create, I should say, like in
that we ruined, the El Salvador that we ruined,
exactly,
the Honduras that we ruined, the Nicaragua that we ruined
for capitalism, and turned into a narco state. What?
Yeah, or the Colombia that we ruined with our war on drugs.
That's right. And that person risking everything, escaping that situation. Of course, they would just, if everything's going well there, they wouldn't pick up their family and traipse across the desert to the unknown. They would, of course, stay there. Nobody, who the hell wants to do that? Wants to move your whole life, and then be met with a busload of maggots screaming in your face, right? You're not welcome. Oh, they're so disgusting. But that person, who arrives here, don't you think they would be willing and so grateful that they? I mean, I just can't think of the fact that these Republicans, it's really about, that's why they have to say that everybody's coming from a prison, or that they're emptying mental asylums, or which is not true in any world.
No, he's stupid.
Exactly. But even if I don't think he believes it. He's just a liar. And that the people who listen to him, the racists who listen to him, believe it, is a disgrace, is a shame, and they should be ashamed. Because as I say, like, you can't curse a fish for swimming or a bird for flying. And Traitor Trump is gonna be a con man. That's who he is. That's his nature. He's a sociopath. He hates anything good.
He's a convicted felon.
Yes, he's a convicted felon.
The one reason that maybe I should have watched the coverage today, and people who did.
Yeah.
Francisco's out there. Matt took one for the team. Did anyone during the coverage at any point in time whatsoever referred to him as the first convicted felon?
No, I doubt it.
Inaugurated?
Oh, I doubt it. I looked up on the coverage, convicted felon inaugurated, and there's only one headline from Rolling Stone, that says convicted felon sworn in as president. And yeah, let me see. So the political,
that should be the headline at the New York Times, the LA Times,
Yep.
every.
But if you go to
in the
Google,
country.
I just went to like the first front page of Google to look something up, and they have fireworks. You're like, fuck you, fireworks?
Gotta keep the man happy.
Yeah, ain't it a great day?
I feel so white. I mean,
Oh.
right?
We won. I was playing that song on my show on Friday. The Roseanne and this Canadian white rapper, put out a song about
Jesus.
Daddy's home. You know, this is their thing because they hate women and they want to be. You know, Daddy beat them and shit, so they think that everybody needs to be beaten by Daddy, a convicted felon rapist, Daddy. But so their whole video and song, of course, is all, we won, so sad, so sad, go cry. We won, too bad, go cry. Daddy's home, boo boo boo. You know, and they're all like, what is the purpose of this? You know, that's why we went through it, because it's like another example of Republican civility. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, you know what would happen. You think that anyone associated with Harris or any one of her boosters, a celebrity, would put out a song, or Eminem, you know, would put out a song saying like, we won, fuck you, you know, and at the end they're giving the finger, and you know, it's like, that's what it's about. It's not about unity. It's not about bringing this country together. It's about maintaining hierarchy at any cost and white people at the top. And that's why these racists, that's what they are. They hate, it's not just racism. You know, don't you get tired of being called a racist? Well, stop being a fucking racist, and then maybe we'll stop. You know, it's not like I don't have a vocabulary. We have many words we can call you, you know, but that one fits. And everything that they were triggered by. And of course the song goes on about, you know, Roseanne's like, they're trying to turn Becky into Dan, you know, and it's like, it's all about hating the other, vilifying trans people. Now, and of course, trans people that's their oh my God, they're just so obsessed with trans people, less than 1% of the population. And it's absolutely pathological, but it goes to show you how easily manipulated they are, because they didn't give a shit about trans people 4 years ago or whatever it was, you know, like Obama years. We didn't hear this nonsense. They weren't passing or introducing 739 bills in one fucking year targeting trans people. Not a one about the price of eggs though, but you know, it's and going on about things that don't exist. Like Nancy Mace is like, Jasmine Crockett says that it's unreasonable or delusional. Women thinking they're going to get raped is delusional. And I didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. So I was like, what is she, you know, I looked it up. What it is that, of course, it's a lie. You know, Jasmine Crockett was talking about Nancy Mace saying that women are getting raped by men dressed as women in women's rooms, women's bathrooms. That's something that doesn't happen. It hasn't. I mean, I looked it up. I mean, I didn't see any instances. Nothing came across the wire. There was nothing in the Google machine about it.
No.
And because it's not a thing. You know, trans people don't. It's not men dressing up as women and raping women in women's bathrooms. In fact, trans people are more apt to be abused and assaulted in a bathroom than any other demographic, and that's just the facts. But they have to lie, and that's what I'm saying. You know, going after trans people and everything, and that's why even before I heard the song, I'm like, how are they gonna weave trans people into this? Because it's not just hate. You know, now it's like, oh, trans people, and they're turning Becky into Dan. Like, fuck you. They're turning Becky. Is that any of your business anyway? You know what I mean?
They, who are the they?
Yes, exactly. They. are turning. It's not like we're like, hey, listen, Becky, you're going to be Dan, and I don't care whether you like it or not. And it's not but that's not happening, of course.
They're sending your children to school and giving them brutal surgery.
As like I couldn't go to
They're
the
eating
paper
the
mill
dog.
playhouse without, my father's and mother's signature. I couldn't go to the Turtleback fucking zoo, but they're going to have surgery on your kids. That's what I'm talking about. The propaganda. And whether they believed it or not, some of them did, of course, but for Trump, it doesn't matter. He is allowed to lie as disgustingly as he does, and the corporate media, oh, what a great day, bing, 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 stars coming at you, and fucking flags. Who cares? He wipes his ass with the flag. He is a disgrace to the flag. I mean, they love the red, white, and blue, that they certainly don't know anything about the spirit, the substance, what it's supposed to be about service and sacrifice. Ask not what your country will do for you. What they're asking is, what can you do for us? How much more can we grift without, with your permission too, with your tacit approval? Because that's what this is about. And what I was thinking today, in general, is that we're in for a shitstorm because of now Zuckerberg, and of course Musk is a piece of shit, and they all are in cahoots with spreading more lies. I mean, we got to this point because of lies, and I don't know how can we survive through this when it's just gonna get worse. Now the lies will get worse. It has to get.
I'm speaking here simply, not just for myself, but I'm speaking for myself. My primary concern now is finding out. I don't produce my own hormones anymore. It's just the medical truth. So I have to take them exogenously. Even if by some executive order, and I fully expect it, because the thing is, hormones are gender affirming care. Mm-hmm. As Whalehead Dead Bear Brainworm can tell you, because he's been juicing testosterone for ages.
Oh yeah.
It's just that when gender affirming care is taken by insecure little men with tiny pee-pees, it's okay. Mm-hmm. And insurance will pay for it. But what I'm waiting to find out is, will my insurance continue to pay for it? But even if they don't, can I still get them if I pay out of pocket? And see, that's when it becomes critically important, because without them, basically, my bones turn to chalk, and it's over. Broken hips, that kind of thing, and just falling apart by degrees. That's part of it. But then, what Nidia was telling us about before you came on, this idea that they will withhold federal funding from any institution, any organization that even so much as acknowledges the human dignity of trans people, whatever the stage
of course,
of their condition. And of course, there are people out there who say that they're trans, but they never take hormones. And they, maybe they change their pronouns. I don't even know if they change their clothes. Those folks will be fine.
Right.
Okay? They'll be fine because they don't need any of that. But for people who have to rely on things like hormone therapy, for instance, cis women who are postmenopausal often supplement with estrogen. For general health,
right?
They'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know if people who are on HRT, whether it be trans women on estrogen and progesterone, or trans men on testosterone, will be able to access it. And for trans guys, it's even harder because because testosterone, being as how it is a strong steroid, is actually a controlled substance. So it's, you know, you can kind of sort of cross your fingers and hope you can do it yourself for trans women. But for trans guys, they've got to, you know, they're conceivably breaking the law by even now by trying to access hormone therapy, gender affirming hormone therapy via testosterone. So it's a lot to have to contemplate. And see, if he follows through on this, the so-called safe states are no longer safe, because it doesn't matter if it's California or Oregon or, you know, Washington and Colorado are two of the most forward-thinking of states, because, you know, they mandate insurance coverage, and it's also, and I think Medi-Cal may also cover too. Because it's up to the states. But if there is an executive order saying that any state that, or in any healthcare facility, any healthcare organization that provides gender affirming care of any sort loses all federal funding, well, then we will be kicked to the curb, because less than 1% of the population is not worth all the money that comes from the federal government into these healthcare organizations. And of course they will give, within the Affordable Care Act, they will give Mother May I to insurance companies to not cover gender affirming surgeries, or and gender affirming care, and it can, you know, therapy, counseling, you know, anything. I mean, it's a fairly broad little universe what gender affirming care is.
Of course,
and they can at least attempt with the stroke of a pen to stop it. And you used to be able to count on a U.S. district judge to just immediately sign the preliminary injunction, keeping it from going into effect. But now, here in the middle of the third decade of the 21st century, there have been so many right-wing judges, so many Federalist Society judges put on the court, or court system, that you can't count on that anymore. Just for instance, Matthew Kaczmarek is that nightmare horror show the federal judge in North Texas. Well, even without Texas still in the case, he has allowed the refiling of the mifepristone litigation in a Texas court of limited jurisdiction. The state of Texas is not even in the litigation now, but Missouri and Idaho and South Dakota or something insane like that are. And so he's exercising national jurisdiction from a district level. And, you know, that's where the terror comes in, because you would nominally expect a DC district court judge to be the proper venue and the proper forum and the proper jurisdiction for filing these things. But if some barking, grunting, tax-exempt grift files in front of that clown, or any of 100 others, then that preliminary injunction that would have been taken as read in past history is no longer necessarily the case. Tara, I have to just briefly interrupt for a moment, because no, it's just fundraising's at $645, and the water bill is pending, and there's always more propane to be purchased, and need to at least it would be great if we could knock out last Friday and last Thursday. That would get us down to only $300 to go, and we'd be current. And there's a challenge on the table, courtesy of Ralph's, for the 2 Leon Scum Nazi salutes today. 2, not 1, but 2.
What? He gave a Nazi salute?
Oh, you didn't know?
No, like I said, I've been...
No, yeah. He well, here, I hate to even do it, but here he was blathering, "Thank you, I love you, you're so great," and then he does this.
Ugh, of course. And then he's gonna say, "Oh, that's a..." Oh, you pick. Yeah, he'll say that. Everyone's just, "Oh, that's not enough. I'm just waving." Piece.
Yeah, this is waving.
All right.
The Miss America windshield wiper. This is the Queen of England. The light bulb. That's waving.
I'm looking at it. Yeah, it's pretty deliberate.
Yeah.
Some consider to be a Hitler salute. Some with eyes, and they're doing it as a. I don't know. I mean, he's a Nazi. He's
fucking troll.
Right. He's trolling. Yeah. That's what he's doing.
What Leon Scum needs more than anything else is a swirly that lasts about 15 minutes, and while at the same time having his underwear pulled up over his head.
Yeah.
I mean, he just needs to be treated like the little fucking dweeb that he is.
He is. He's a horrible. I'm hearing you. I'm listening to you. There's nothing. I mean, we just have to brace for what is to come and get through it. You're right. Everything that there may not be a judge. But there might. You never know. But
that last time, the first 4 years, it was like, well, the guardrails held.
Barely, if at all.
6 happened, right?
See, yeah.
Anyway, Ralph's put a $25 challenge on the table. If somebody meets that, we'll be down to $5.95, and a little bit closer to paying the power bill. But we really need to knock out last Friday too. So $3.45 is what we need to do in the next hour. I'm sorry to fundraise on your back.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm just looking at the chat. We can maybe when you come back from fundraising, we can discuss something.
No,
what's going on in the chat room. So
I just had to mention that, and I did want to share a little piece of lovely, delightfully funny doggerel with you, courtesy of our pal Sylvie from the Committee for Surrealism in Everyday Life. Now I lay me down to sleep, thinking of the orange creep. If he should die before I wake, I pray to God the news ain't fake.
Right. I love that. I've seen that meme, but that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Of the little girl praying.
I pray to God the news ain't fake.
Yeah, but honestly, at this point, I don't want him to croak because I don't need JD Vance in there. That's for sure. So I don't know. So I'm just reading. We have lively conversation going on in the chat room at youtube.com/c4channel/Tarabuster if you want to jump in, guys. And thank you, Jim, for your super chat and also for being a moderator. So there's someone in the chat, Thomas. Nice to see you there, Thomas. I think he's got some questions that I think a lot of people have, and it might be a good opportunity to give him the real news, and not the fake news. So what I'm gathering is that Thomas is saying that he's having trouble, I live in a studio apartment, I have trouble paying rent, and why should we let in all these migrants and give them things? So, let's see. I don't want to put words in his mouth. Let's see. Where can I start? The cost of my rent right now for a studio apartment and the amount of money that I make, I can barely afford it. I definitely know out of my paycheck I can't afford to help anybody, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain further? I don't really understand the neoliberal idea. Okay, someone was trying to, talk about neoliberal policy. So that's the problem, really, what we're in. And I understand that they're here. I'm just saying, isn't there a middle ground? Shouldn't we allow everybody that came through the last 4 years to get amnesty and then set some sort of way for people to come? At least we can set them up with the social security number. Anyway, am I getting your gist correctly here, Thomas? He's saying that I just think letting millions of people come in and having no plan makes no sense. So if you want to put in the, if you want to sum it up, if I'm not making it clear, Thomas writes, I'm not saying take advantage of vulnerable people, but unfortunately it's America. Even the citizens get taken advantage of. Okay, and now I see the Republican, the conservative, kiss up, kick down, oldest trick in the book being played out right here.
Right.
In what Thomas is talking about and his experience. And it doesn't mean it will go away, but it's about recognizing where to focus your anger. It's not on the migrants and there are limits to how many migrants or how many people can get through. There are stop gaps and of course we've had different times and different in our history where there's been quotas. I don't know about the quota system now, if that's still in effect. I can look that up, but certain people from this country, a certain amount of people from that country are allowed. And as far as the way it stands is the immigration law. That's why what happened in the early days of the Biden administration, the reason immigration or migrant border crossings went up was because it was basically a post-pandemic surge, for one thing, right? And then you had Republicans, and this is a deliberate tactic, screaming Biden's open borders. So if you're somebody who lives in one of these failed states that we helped create, and you hear Biden's open borders, now's the time to go. They don't understand, oh, wait, that's just a Republican, political gamesmanship. That's just their bullshit. But it's they don't understand that. And they have people saying, hey, Biden's open borders. You see it right here. Let's go. And they take advantage of those.
And of course you have capitalists, because that's what they are. You can call them anything else that you want to, but the bottom line, they're capitalists.
Right.
And they are making a fortune.
Yes.
Bringing migrants along that brutal trail.
Yeah.
That leads to the United States border.
Right. So.
But the larger problem is an apples and oranges one for this individual. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That American landlords are rapacious hell beasts,
right?
Who can never be satisfied.
Exactly.
That's not some struggling campesino trying to get to the United States where they've been told there's work.
Yeah.
Okay, and friend, they're not taking your job unless you're out there picking fucking tomatoes. Okay, right. I'm not trying to be mean here, but they're not taking any Americans' jobs.
No. Now, and as we know right now, Republicans, the people who voted for Trump, these farmers, are saying, well, don't really deport everybody because I'm gonna go broke here in 3 days.
I read a story about a tomato farmer in
that's the one.
Florida just the other day. It's like, I had to let my crop rot in the field.
That's what he said, because I'm going to lose money because nobody's going to take these jobs. That's the thing. But we also have Trump donors who, as you're talking about, they set up a whole system where they were busing in migrants and putting them up in company dorms and paying them shit wages and taking them through the process of getting a fake ass visa, and not even a work visa. They were getting them tourist visas, but they of course were rested assuredly that the Republicans weren't going to come after them because they were the number one donor to Trump, even more than Elon Musk. And one of the ads that they funded, that this what were it's a couple, the Uline couple. They funded an ad that was targeting Biden's open borders and the Harris immigrant what is she, the borders are failure, you know, all this bullshit. But it's really about, it's not about oh, we can't help people because there's not enough for me to pay rent. The fact is, this country, that we live in the richest country on earth. Are we really helping these people that much anyway? But there is a law that
and there's also the fact that this entire mythology has been created. Oh, they come to America and they immediately get on the welfare,
and they don't.
And they get health care, and they get
exactly.
And they get an Obama phone.
Nope. And it's fucking bullshit. It is not true.
Yeah, one of the things, I think it was Florida, you know, some fucking maggot down there throwing a fit about, we're giving the illegals driver's licenses. Well, honey, they get insurance. Driver's license. When somebody, you know.
I know. It's so, they can't wrap their tiny minds.
By somebody who's unlicensed.
Exactly.
And you don't have insured motorist insurance.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. See, they can't wrap their tiny minds around the complex issues. Like, why, like in sanctuary cities, what that means is that someone who is a migrant or an immigrant or an undocumented immigrant, if they get in trouble, if they have to call the cops, if you're getting fucking raped in an alleyway, they can pick up the phone and say, there's somebody that needs help here, and coming, you know, and they're not going to come and take them away. They're not going to ask them their immigration status. And they can get help if they get sick, like during COVID. They could show up at the hospital and say, I think I have COVID. So it doesn't become a fucking health, you know, they don't become like Typhoid Mary and no one gets help and the disease is spread. So it's about safety of the community. And I know Republicans would rather have, they would throw their own mothers over a cliff if they could just fucking like piss on somebody. But it's that's what it's about. I don't understand why that's so fucking hard to grasp. But.
And there's a couple of other pieces of this as well that I think merit mentioning, Tara. One of which is, do you remember the caravans are coming?
Yep.
The day after the election, did we ever hear another word about the caravans?
I never. That's what I mean. It's all same thing with trans people. You know what I mean? It's like it's like death panels. It's like, how many times have we been dragged through this?
But the thing is, there is a distinction there. They're going to continue to go after trans people because they actively want to. They want a genocide. They think that if they can just get rid of us all, there will never be another one.
Right.
But,
well,
but
I mean,
Roman history nerds that we are, we all know about the Emperor.
Elagabalus.
Elagabalus. Yes.
Yeah. Elagabalus.
Who offered a princely ransom to anyone who could help him become a woman.
Huh. Well, yeah. He couldn't do it though because the
ancient world is replete with that sort of thing.
Of course.
But the thing I want to point out relative to immigration is that, first of all of these poor dead from the neck up maggots who were screaming about the southern border have probably never met a Hispanic person in their entire lives. Our dipshit.
They know the good ones, though. Just kidding.
I'm going to send the West Virginia National Guard down to the southern border, and my first thought was, really, you're going to send them down?
I'm so glad I'm not in the. Well, sorry.
This is a landlocked state. You're going to send them down to guard the Tug Fork River?
I know. It's all just performance art for racists and homophobes.
But there's more to it than that. So the lie gets promulgated to these people who have never even met someone from south of the border that the Biden administration done let 21 million illegals into this here country. God. I mean, they said it, 21 million.
Yeah.
Million, and we don't know where they are. Okay. So there's that. But and so the two things are, we will stop hearing so much about the southern border, because once he's sent the United States military down there to build walls and trenches and moats
poor
with
bastards.
sharp frickin' laser beams
and razors in the water and shit that he wanted.
And just as Biden left him a kick-ass economy, the Biden administration actually had more arrests than the Trump administration.
I know. Isn't that a pesky facts? I have such a liberal bias.
And the maggots want to say, well, that's because there were so many more illegals. No, it's because they actually did their damn job.
Yeah.
Whereas Nitwit Nero didn't.
Right. Of course. Well, that's the last.
And eventually, they'll claim victory. The numbers won't change.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll have to. Well, they'll just double down on us.
Well, that's what I'm saying, that the problem is propaganda, and it doesn't matter what he does, they will cover it up. Border crossings in the last year are down lower than they were under this monster the last time. And of course, we all know Obama, they called him the deporter-in-chief, those who were fighting, who were on the immigration.
I remember, I was on air back then. I remember throwing hissies about the T. Don Hutto the detention center, where they literally, and it went on under Obama too. We can't.
But that's what I mean. It does. It's
out of this.
But regardless of the reality, they will paint Democrats as open borders. So they said the same thing about Obama, and he was deporting more people than the Republicans were. So and as far as this is the other thing, if there's a law, there's laws. I don't know all the fucking laws, of course, but that you can present yourself at the border and say, I'm seeking asylum, and then you get your day in court. So, and they would give people a date, and 99% of the people showed up for their date, or even, it was actually more than that, I think. It was a very slim minority that didn't show up. But that's just the law. If you don't like the fucking law, change the law. The Americans wrote that law after World War II, hoping that another Holocaust wouldn't happen again. But Republicans don't give a shit. They want another Holocaust, whether it comes from without or within, as long as it is the right people being eliminated. And as we see, we're talking about trans people being eliminated. There's no eliminating trans people. They're just people that they may go back in the closet. They may commit suicide, and that's what they probably want. But, it's not going away. But it's really the whole, and I'm sorry about jumping around, but as far as, Thomas's concern about the rich, whatever, what is it? What can we do to make the rich pay their fair share? We used to have a time in American history called the Great Prosperity, when under FDR's New Deal policies, at the time the rich paid a 75% marginal tax rate, and it went up over time. It actually, as we know, Eisenhower had a 91% marginal tax rate. And that just meant that if you reach a certain level of wealth, you get that wealth gets taxed at a certain percentage, at 75% or whatnot. And because of that, we had a time, like I'm saying, it's called the Great Prosperity, and coupled with labor laws and pro labor working class administration, and I should be clear, white working class, they built the middle class from the ground up. It didn't come because the robber barons of the first Gilded Age felt like trickling it on us. It came about because of policy, like the National Labor Relations Act and other policies that Republicans destroyed. But also, we still live in FDR's shadow. People are living above the poverty line. because of FDR, because of Social Security, because
Can can I share an FDR quote with you?
yeah.
I have to find it real quick.
But the thing is, so while you're finding it, it's just that how do we tax the rich? You know, you have to get people in there that want to tax the rich. If the Republicans are constantly standing in the way of every tax increase, that because they scream about taxes, but it's not. They're not talking about your taxes. They're talking about the rich. The taxes on the rich, because even the scam, the GOP tax scam, the Trump tax scam that they're going to try, that's their first thing they're going to do through reconciliation, make it permanent, right?
Yeah.
Is that it? And to extend it and all this other shit.
Well, I mean, you heard his Treasury nominee the other day, the guy who lived
right.
in the mansion called the Pink Palace down in South Carolina.
Fucking disgusting.
I mean, I guess he's going to be our first gay Treasury Secretary. No shit.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's like Peter Thiel, another, he's gay too. It was fucking Nazi.
He said the American economy will collapse if we don't give billionaires like him another tax cut.
I mean, what world does he live in? Of course, he lives in the Gilded Age, and well, we're going back there. But the fact is, you don't need, as studies show in general, you don't need another zero on the end of your $1 billion bank account to make you any more happy or content with life. It does nothing, but it does corrupt government, especially the one we have, where the Supreme Court has allowed unfettered bribes, legal bribes built right into the system. So that's the problem. And everywhere we look, are Republicans, the Supreme Court, Clarence Thomas being kept by a fucking billionaire, and all of them,
As I've pointed out before, it is so it's so ironic that I find myself in the position of praying for the continued good health of Clarence Thomas and Sammy Bad Breath, because I don't want him replacing any more justices, even if they're on his side.
Oh, I know. And that's the other thing. Who is this con man? We gotta live in his warped version of reality because he puts these horrible, unqualified justices on there.
Nope.
Corrupt. Absolutely corrupt. There,
Yeah.
if I guess, let's see if
accused sexual abusers.
right, and let's see if Ketanji Brown Jackson flew her flag upside down. Let's see if the fucking maggots, what they would say about it, right? Like Alito did when Biden got elected, right?
Or the call to what is it? What is it? Call to liberty?
Appeal to heaven.
The appeal to heaven.
Oh, that's the other thing. Oh, I can't take it. And this is why I wish the Democrats would listen to this show and start fighting. Another thing, they asked Martin O'Malley about, perjury, trade, or green. They were, of course, Democrat Party.
We did that.
Yeah, but she also asked him, you believe in God? And you're a Catholic, right? You believe in God. And he's like, yes, I believe in God. I mean, what the fuck kind of shit is this? And then, of course, she went on about killing babies. And even though the only response to that would be abortion rate goes down under Democrats, criminalizing abortion doesn't reduce the abortion rate. I don't know why Democrats don't.
And somehow or another we can't bring ourselves to.
Yeah, I don't know why they never say it. But the other thing is, when she's asking him, do you believe in God? What his only response should be, I do, but I also believe in the Constitution. And according to the Constitution, as we know, there are no religious tests
for holding office.
Exactly. And I find your question offensive, frankly.
Un-American.
Un-American. There you go. And why the Democrats don't do that? Then they jump in. I believe in God, and then another Democrat pines out or calls out from the other side of the room. Mr. Chairman, as a Catholic, I take offense. Why don't you just say as an elected representative in this constitutionally limited democratic republic? I find it reprehensible that there's
you would be much better at it than they.
Yeah. I
Honestly.
think I would, because you have to fight, and you don't just say, yeah, I believe in God too. That's not your business.
Yeah, I'm Spartacus and so is my wife.
Right, right. But it's like, what, I mean, I don't think that anybody would take offense to that. Of course, the Republicans would, but that's why you have to turn it around and you have to go judo or on their asses and take their momentum and use it against them. Like, what are you talking about? I believe in the Constitution, as should you as an elected representative. And it says right here, there shall be no religious tests, coming right from the mouths of the founders. And, I find your question offensive and un-American. And as for my religious affiliation, yes, I believe in God, if I should be so bold to admit it. But I do what the Savior I worship instructed me to do. And I go and I pray in my closet. I don't do it in the halls of Congress or on the floor of the well of the house so somebody could take my picture. And that, shut that shit down without apology. But I don't know.
And the funny thing is, it worked once upon a time. The lawyer's name was Welch.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And he looked at, was it Roy Cohn or was it McCarthy himself, and said, "At long last, sir, have you no decency?"
And that's what I keep waiting. Yes.
That ended him.
Right. I keep waiting for that to happen, for the Democrats to have that moment with these, like somebody like Mace or Perjury Trader Green. But it never happens because they're too busy. I don't know what it is. Is it that they're afraid? I know all of the, the younger Dems. It's time for Nancy Pelosi and all of them to just
AOC has been sounding so much more intelligent, so much more realistic.
Well, she is.
Yeah. And frankly, there needs to be a little bit of a palace coup, I think. But
I know.
She tried with, what was it, House Oversight ranking member, and Nancy did a number on her. I found my FDR quote.
Yes.
I want to share this with you because it's so very germane to what we've been talking about. The liberty of a democracy is not safe if the people tolerate the growth of private power to the point where it comes stronger than their democratic state itself. That, in its essence, is fascism.
Yes.
Ownership of government by an individual, by a group. We had to struggle with the old enemies of peace: business and financial monopoly, speculation, reckless banking, class antagonism, sectionalism, war, profiteering. They had begun to consider the government of the United States as a mere appendage to their own affairs. We know now that government by organized money is just as dangerous as government by organized mob. Never before in all our history have these forces been so united against one candidate as they stand today. They are unanimous in their hate for me, and I welcome their hatred.
Yeah, and what the hell, Dems?
It remains as trenchant and germane today as it was when he first uttered them.
Absolutely.
I want to go back in our discussion about immigration. I heard from Micah, and she knows of what she speaks because she's involved in a relevant industry. Foreigners, not immigrants, are taking our jobs. But it isn't the immigrants coming across the border doing it. They're either staying in their own country and getting paid a pittance, I am, or the companies are playing fast and loose with the government to get them H-1B visas. I'm not a huge fan of our immigration policy either, but my problem isn't the people coming across the border from countries we destabilized. And so, again, there is an imminent war brewing between the tech bro dudes and the salt of the earth MAGA Republicans, who understood their orange Jesus to be bringing them a whiter America, when Wake and Leon want to basically rub out American tech workers.
Yep.
Because what Micah said, they're never leaving home. Some of them are never leaving home.
Yes.
Just working remotely.
That's
Anybody. Right. I mean, it's so funny. My health insurance carrier is literally headquartered a couple of miles from where I'm sitting right now. Okay? If, however, I have a question about my coverage, my phone call goes to South Asia somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I have to not only fight the Byzantine nature of the policy language, I have to get over a language barrier hurdle too.
Yeah. I know.
When there are perfectly capable West Virginians who could be sitting at a phone center right here in West Virginia contributing to the economy, but that's not good for the CEO.
That's right. And the stockholders.
Of this particular BCBS, those coupon clipping stockholders.
Yeah.
With that said, I also need to send out thanks to our kind anonymous internet friend who got us down to only $520 to go. If we could raise another $220, if anybody else wants to help, we'd be done with last week, and finishing last week so that we're only funding the week we're in is huge. So thank you, kind anonymous internet friend, for answering Ralph's challenge. Thank you so much indeed. And at the beginning of the program, before you had connected, the very beginning of the program, I had a note from Matt in San Francisco who took a great deal of humor, downright belly laughs, from the attempt of Nitwit Nero puckering up his cat's ass mouth and trying to kiss Melanoma.
Oh, no.
But she was wearing a hat with a brim so
I know.
high.
What was that about? She looked like some demon from a horror movie I saw once.
Honestly, the photo I'm looking at right now, she looks like a drag queen.
Right. That's true.
When I first saw this photo, I thought, wait a minute. That's Patrick Swayze from Tu Wong Fu.
Who?
I mean,
okay. That's what she looks like?
She looks like a dude.
Yeah.
I mean...
I didn't know who it was when I first saw it. I was like, what? That's her? What a... Ugh.
And you know, she looks like a drag queen who hasn't learned how to do her makeup yet.
Right. But wasn't there a horror movie that had a demon in it that would wear that hat? Who was that? What horror movie is that? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do, and I'm trying to see here if Joy in Ann Arbor actually named the film.
Like he would manifest as this old man in a hat like that?
Yeah. Joy said, I thought Trump was being sworn in by an itinerant preacher. And then there's the fact that he had Bibles stacked one on the other that Melanoma held. But when he was taking the oath today, he put his little tiny right hand or left hand in the air and just kept his other hand hanging at his side and never just touched the Bible.
Oh, I see it. I'm looking at the quote. I mean, at the picture. And you know what happened? You know what these maggots did to Harris when she took her oath? As a picture of her with her hand on her family Bible, and there was like something on top of it, or so they were saying. You know, it was a conspiracy saying that she can't actually touch the Bible because she's, you know, a demon can't really touch it. Is this are we gonna get the same kind of conspiracies happening? I mean, a lot of conspiracies are happening in DC, as you know, now that the maggots are taking over DC. Even though the hotels were at 70% occupancy, they were running around in the bars demanding, you know, everyone kiss their asses, of course, but they don't know how to behave in public. That's the other thing. They're horrible. They don't know how to be decent.
That mama didn't raise them right.
No, they think they're like, I mean, they think the fucking world should be at their feet, and, you know, we won, so sad, fuck you, you know, like that. And they treat people, they treat people like shit. And the people at the, you know, the bartenders and whatnot, they're saying that, you know, they're all screaming and demanding, you know, a coffee, a water, a gin and tonic, a this, a that. And then they're saying that that it's a conspiracy. The reason they made Trump go inside because they didn't want a picture of him on the Capitol.
Oh no, it gets worse. Marginal Trailer Queen said, I think they had inside information that there was another assassination.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's what they keep
and they're
saying.
just telling us.
And you know, if that were the case, don't you think that piece of dirt would have fucking like blasted it out? Of course. He would have worn. I mean, I'm surprised his fake ear injury didn't all of a sudden.
But he made reference to that.
I know.
It wasn't Freddy Krueger I was thinking
demented.
of. If you look around social media long enough, you'll find a picture of her and whoever it was that was in the movie. They look shockingly similar. Haley just said, "Damn it, Roxanne, you just read my mind about Melania the drag queen rocking the 2-1-2 look." Saw that picture posted at lunchtime today. Well, it's kind of unavoidable. But
something in my eye, man.
Even you know, I saw it mentioned that in his speechifying, even though he didn't put his hand on the Bible, let's see, right hand on the left hand hanging, he still said,
I was saved by God to make America great again.
Oh, eat my ass. Ugh.
We're one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God.
Oh no, we
will not forget our God.
The whole time that he doesn't have it, that he's forgotten his God because his hand isn't
right.
on the
Because it's all a fucking performance. So I was saved to make America great. No, you weren't. You are going to be our hard lesson. That's it. A very hard lesson to learn, and I hope people learn it, because by the time the only thing I hope that at the end of this, that people have had enough of billionaires and enough of the money in politics. But I doubt it, only because of the propaganda, and people they don't even understand. Like, I'm just reading the chat, and I'm not picking on Thomas in the chat really, but it's just goes to show that average people, or people who are not paying attention like we do, or they don't get it. No offense, Thomas. I'm just saying they don't get they don't know about the top marginal tax rates. They don't know how the game has been rigged since Reagan to funnel money into the rich, and how every campaign finance law that comes before the Supreme Court gets watered down and watered down and watered down till we have nothing left. And we have billionaires, and this is what I don't understand. How, because of these dark money PACs, we got money coming from all over the world that we can't trace. We don't know where the fuck it's from, right? And they're just allowed, like Musk can give this con man 250 billion or whatever he gave him, 250 million, right? Yeah. And there was the Uline couple gave him more, and how could if I donate to a candidate, my max is what, 2,500 or 5,000?
I've wondered about and see they give it to the candidate, but they give it to the PAC.
Right, but it's just such a slimy scam. Exactly. And the corporate media, of course, this is another thing that drives me nuts. And that's why I say, I wish they would listen to me, God damn it, or listen to our shows. Yeah, because have you ever heard a corporate media pundit break it down anyway by just about tax rates? But also what they talk about, they say, even during this last campaign, they'll say, average Joe says this, but then you have the donor class. Oh, like when they were going after Joe Biden, making him drop out or whatever, they were saying, and the donor class is also stopped giving money. The donor class, like, what the fuck is this donor class? And the way that they say it without any
it's the limousine cruise missile liberals.
Well, it's not just it's on both sides, but they talk about the donor class as if
donor class, right?
Yeah, like as if it's a natural thing that should occur, and how it's part of the fucking 3 branches of government, Oh, well, the average Joe says this, but the donor class are very upset with Biden now and all this, and then the thing is that of course we're in this boat because of propaganda, and I just came across some website that was tracking. I wish I had it in front of me. I'll find it. Tracking all of the negative stories about Biden's age that were in the New York Times alone, and there's not a single story about Trump, who is the oldest president, the oldest person to ever take the oath of office at this point. And he's goddamn, can't put a goddamn sentence together. Clearly something's wrong with him. He doesn't know to put his hand on the Bible when he takes an oath. Or what do you think would happen if Biden did something like that?
Oh,
right?
you'd be able to hear this from Leon Scum's beach house on Mars.
Of course.
And there's some breaking news. The Trump for Brains actually has confirmed Marco Rubio as Secretary of State. That will last until he can't stand the humiliation.
Get little Marco on the phone. Hey, little Marco.
Right. And he's the guy, I have clips of him calling Trump what he is, a con man, a grifter, a disgrace, a pathological liar. And then we have that famous debate where they were talking about the sizes of their penises. Nothing wrong there. Nothing wrong there. That's what Republicans can do. When Democrats they got to bring their A game constantly. But Republicans can talk about the size of their dicks at their debate, and Americans vote for them.
I'm not even going to say what's in my mind to say about what I'd like to say about Nancy Mace or Martha Trailer Queen. But he's also eliminated already work from home.
Oh, of course. Good luck, maggots. Have fun.
And then anyone who refuses, he will
fire.
Yeah.
Well, that's because Elon Musk.
Regardless of civil service. So the courts are going to have to hear about this.
Right.
The most terrifying of these.
It's unreal.
Latest.
Because they can't have the working class have any work-life balance. You see, the people who work from home. That's why people are resistant to go back. They don't want to go back. They like having the flexibility of being able to work from home and have that slice of that work-life balance that they always talked about or heard about. But they don't want that because it's just another example of how much they hate the working people of this country. They treat they just treat working people like children, that need to be supervised. It doesn't matter how the fact that we are living in the richest country on earth, that the rich are so goddamn rich. We have a wider income gap than was in ancient Rome, but that's okay. Whatever. They want to control your entire life. They don't respect you. They want you to struggle. They want you to suffer, and they want you to, they want you to know your place. That's what it's about. It's about, hey, honey, you like working from home? Too bad. I'm daddy's home, right? Fuckers. And that's the whole thing against trans people, too,
Meanwhile, this fucker's going to work.
Oh, of course. He won't come down like the last time. He didn't come down until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then they had to, because the press got a hold of the schedule. And it was always in the morning. Because he was watching television and commenting, calling in on Fox News. He wanted to see what everybody was saying about him. Oh, my God. This is happening again. Shame on you. If you voted for him,
and now,
I hope it hurts, honey. I hope it hurts.
I hope it aches worse than a bump.
You work for the civil service, and you voted for him. Good luck.
Well, and we are running out of time, but look, it's just going to be one indignity after another for rather a long time.
It is.
but he has just pardoned 1,500 J6 in
Oh,
the domestic
oh,
terrorists.
oh no. Fucking traitors. Traitors. Back on the just like what happened in the Civil War, you know, the traitors get to go on about their business. People who
He signed the pardons and said, and
We hope they come out tonight, frankly.
oh, fucking go eat shit, you fucking traitors. That will never. And I hope whatever. It doesn't matter what this fucking convicted felon does or says about you. You are a traitor, and always will be. You maggots who stormed the Capitol.
And he didn't. He said that he was asked not to include mentions of the J6 hostages in the official inaugural address, and that would have been really tacky to do that right in the very room where they shit the floor.
Ugh.
I was going to talk about the J6 hostages, but you'll be happy because, it is action, not words that count.
Ugh.
And you're going to be happy because you're going to see a lot of action on the J6 hostages.
Ugh, God, how dare they? Yes, of course, he started to undo dozens of directives issued by Biden, including those related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Oh, global warming, sanctioning Israeli settlers. Good. I hope you are happy you stayed home, Dems, because you were so mad at that genocide Joe.
Teaching Biden a lesson.
Mm-hmm. Teach him a lesson. Prick.
Yeah. Hey,
Could you wait?
How's it going for you?
Who?
The Dearborn dipshits.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and then he says, "Could you imagine Biden doing this?" I don't think so. Fuck you. I mean, he's such a petty little bitch. That's how you act, you child. You ugly man-child.
It's not just the people who shit on the floor in the Capitol.
Right.
Apparently, the Proud Boys are celebrating this evening. Former Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio.
Is he one of them?
And yes.
He's been pardoned. The one
released. His mother, Zuni Tarrio, told her followers on X, "Oh my God, Lord, thank you. Tarrio is free."
He pled guilty to seditious conspiracy against the United States.
Yes.
He's a fucking traitor. Like they all are. That's what we're up against.
He was serving a 22-year sentence.
Ugh. For treason against the country. Good luck. That's who you are. That's who you are in league with. Anyone who voted for Trump, I don't care. If you're those 20 million Dems who stayed home, that's on you too, boob.
Yeah. Own it, boo-boo.
Yeah. You should all be ashamed.
And so there's going to be more Proud Boys released as well, of course. And what this basically is it's the release of the people who were arrested after the beer hall putsch in what?
Yes, that's it. And now we're going to have celebrations.
And the Proud Boys, the Sturm Abteilung, are going to be marching in the streets again.
Yep. Just like what happened after Hitler. Like you're saying, the beer hall putsch became a touchstone. The day commemorating the event, they would have celebrations and rallies. This is what we're going to look forward to. And they would commemorate, of course, the flag, right? They would take J6 flags. They've done this. I mean, the Nazis would take the flags that were at the attempted overthrow of the German government, and they would consecrate other flags using the flag. And here we go. Same thing. Same thing is going to happen.
While we're at it, we are now out of the Paris Climate Accord, so burn, baby, burn.
Uh-huh. It just gets worse. But and I was prepared, I really was. I was preparing myself, but we're out of the this country is a fucking abomination. And anyone who voted for Trump, you don't deserve a decent country. This is the one you want. You want a divisive shithole where daddy's home. Okay.
And on this planet, we are one of only 4 countries who are now not signatory to the Paris Accord.
Well, hey, whatever. Whatevs. This too shall pass. That's all I got to say. You know?
Hey, maggots down there in states that have a frontage on the Gulf of America.
Good luck.
Enjoy the bigger hurricanes, y'all.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. Let it fucking rip, man. Let it rip. Let it all come. I can't wait till you're all, whatever, hurricanes, tornadoes. Have fun, honey. Have fucking fun. He'll go down. He'll give you thoughts and prayers. Or the next massacres. It's coming. That's all we'll get. More kids dead in school. More, he's supposed to be this man of peace. This is what I heard too. Oh, now finally there'll be peace in the world. Yeah, okay. I mean, the delusion is absolutely bottomless with these maggots, and I do enjoy reading the leopards eating my face Reddit page. Of course, I let them all, dance in the end zone now. Okay, you love it, but this is what it's about. It's always been about hate, division, backward ass, fucking in your face. Like, he's just doing it to annoy people, right? But we have to live in the consequences of it,
yes.
Right? That's what he's doing. He's like, climate accords. Oh, the liberals they believe in climate change, so I'm gonna stick it to them. It's like what happened in California. It's like, oh, okay.
By the way, there were references today during the inaugural address of California.
Oh, really? How it sucks?
Saying that California just completely...
They surrendered to the fires. They didn't even try to...
Oh, you prick. You fucking dirty bastards. Right? I mean, you're talking about a fire that was twice the size of the island of Manhattan. And they're like, I don't give a shit how many fire and in the tornado winds of 90 miles an hour, where they couldn't fly the fire, the helicopters and whatnot, and everyone's trying to get the water. Then like we've been telling you that these natural disasters are going to get more frequent and catastrophic, but when it happens, it's like, oh, DEI, right? DEI. A gay person, trans people. Oh, you were so worried about, some bullshit that they made up, which goes to show you how much they hate this country. And I can't stress it enough. They fucking hate the very essence of America. Everything, and I'm heartbroken thinking about it. Think about George Washington. They called George Washington, even in his time, they called him the American Cincinnatus. And because he willingly gave up power.
And went
back to his farm.
And his vines and his orchards.
Yes. But fucking Traitor Trump, who never served anybody in his life but himself, he couldn't come close. He couldn't give up power. So much that he had to continuously lie, that he had to foment this fucking insurrection, that he sent his mob of monsters and traitors and other fucking filthy racists who lack the fundamental decency to function in America, because that's what it's about. He sent them to stop the peaceful transfer of power. And everything about this country, they are attacking. They're setting us up for failure. They attack every pillar of decency and respect, even by going right down to the very issue that they can't even call the Democratic Party by its actual name, of course. Right. Every little fissure of disunity, they have to exploit. And if it's not exploitable, just on the surface, they have to lie about it. And it's all lies, too, because everything they said about California is a lie. And I got to say, I all throughout my life, watching these maggots drag us back to times we thought we left in the dark ages, right? That I have to wonder, how much longer are the normal people going to take it? This is a minority. I don't give a shit. He won by 1.6% of the vote, thanks to the fact that, 20 million Democrats stayed home. Shame on you. You know, he got less votes than he got the first time.
Exactly.
And he wouldn't have been, we wouldn't be in this boat if the fucking
And-
Democrats just bit the bullet. And
By the way, on the way out the door here, Micah just informed me via executive order, the executive order 14087 of October 14th, 2022, lowering prescription costs for Americans is hereby rescinded.
oh, really? Good for you. Good for
Goodbye.
you, maggots. Good.
Yeah, goodbye $35 insulin.
Oh, good. Good luck. I'm glad. I'm so glad.
But Kamala didn't have any real policy.
Right. She flip-flopped on fracking. That's what I kept fucking hearing. What does she stand for? She flip-flop. What does he stand for? But
Yeah, hey, get
destruction.
Your insulin's $1,400, but the eggs will be cheap.
Oh yeah. Oh, I can't wait. I'm so happy that it happened. So every maggot in the village, fuck off. You know. I mean, go cry a river, honey. We tried to warn you. We tried. Now, you know. I mean, I feel bad for my aunt and uncle now, thinking about, because they're affected, but hey, that's what happens. And this is why I'm so sick of these, because like my entire life we've had to hear the right wingers go, we want to secede, like Texas secede, like fucking secede already, you know? I mean, I don't know, man. I want to secede at this point. We don't need this shit. I would like to keep my blue state dollars, keep my decency, keep my democracy, my constitutionally limited democratic republic, you know, my nation of immigrants where we promote the general welfare over the welfare of one fucking disgusting tech bro man-child and his cohorts of easily triggered men of masculinity. How dare this even happen? My God, I can't even believe. It's like I'm in a little bit of denial. I'm waxing and waning between.
Look,
I can't even believe it, but it's okay. Good. Let's let the games begin, right?
Yeah.
All you can do
look,
is
there are things at work here. Some 61
it's just
years.
incredible.
Some 60 years ago or so. 62 years. Or thereabouts. John Kennedy said, "Those who make peaceful revolution impossible make violent revolution inevitable."
Yeah, that's it.
Not that any of us on the left. Ha! What left?
Oh no, please, the left.
Not any of us are going to do.
No, left.
We don't do that. We don't fight to save democracy. We go lowing bovine-like into the darkness of the abattoir. Mm-hmm. But there's also something else out there called the law of unintended consequences. And the maggots will get caught up in it. It
Yes.
will, and the law of unintended consequences is a sort of a corollary to leopards eating people's faces. Mm-hmm. So maggots out there, bet you really thought you had it good with that $35 insulin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess they did. How about that guy I was reading about on the show on Friday, in this Trump voting town that was ravaged by hurricanes, and Joe Biden in the Inflation Reduction Act, they were applying for grants to fix their leaky roofs and things like that.
Yeah.
Good luck, honey. And one of them had it was about a bunch of them. There's one poor normal person among them, and just just appalled at her neighbors. But and as she's trying to get funding for for them too, but her neighbor was complaining about the rain coming into his bedroom when he was trying to sleep. Had a sign outside of his house that said "Fuck Joe Biden" and "Fuck you for voting for him."
Oh yeah.
And they were applying. He was one of the people applying to get money from Joe Biden to fix his roof. Well, guess you're gonna have to sleep in the puddles. So well, because you're done. It's done. We tried. Yeah, fuck Joe Biden. Oh well, FJB.
It sucks to be you.
That's right. That's why, I mean, the Democrats are, they don't, this is why they're so annoying, because they don't point this shit out. Like, oh, well, we tried. Like the maggots who work in the solar panel factory in Perjury Trader Green's district. Okay, good luck. I hope you have your job still when he's done with, renewable energy. How many FJB bumper stickers are on their cars?
Oh,
I
I'll
have to wonder.
When I get back home, I'll have to check and see if the fuck Biden banner is still up at the house about a quarter mile up the road from me.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Well, hey, that's how it is. I hope that they enjoy their higher drug prices and everything else that's coming for them, and they're having to, if they work remotely, if they work at all, maybe they get Social Security disability. I mean, this is what I find with a lot of them. A lot of them, they suck on the government teat, but they don't have the manners or the decency or the maturity to say thank you.
That government teat is supposed to be there for them.
Right, for them. That's it. Them. That is it. But
not there for those
That's
people.
Right, who are taking advantage. That's what they think, but it's always brown people are taking advantage or somebody else. Right. And that's why, and that's even Thomas in the chat, not to point him out again, but sorry, Thomas. How they, and I've played many clips of the Trumpanzees at their rallies and whatnot being interviewed during the campaign, and they would say that, well, look at these migrants. I'm on Social Security and I can barely get by, and these people are getting everything. And that's the lie that Republicans peddle, because they want the people like that woman saying, she's on Social Security, and wouldn't it be better if she could get a raise on Social Security, even though that's what Joe Biden gave her, but and it would be, she could get a living Social Security wage, right? If not for migrants or others or immigrants or the other nasty people taking advantage. That's the divide and conquer lie that the Republicans peddle. Because no, it's not the migrants that are taking your Social Security or making it, not a living wage. That's the billionaires who bought government because of money and politics, and they bought the politicians, like the entire Republican Party and a chunk of a large chunk of the Democratic Party, who are benefiting from making the rich richer. Not a single Republican voted in this Trump town, voted for the subsidies and the grants and the money for their own constituents, but they sent them back to office. Okay? And they didn't, they voted against these people. Why? Because they sell them a lie. The new quote is, let them eat hate. Instead of, the old let them eat cake, let them eat hate. That's the new,
I hope your hate keeps you warm at night.
Yeah, I hope your hate keeps you nice and dry in your bedroom. I know a roof would have been better, but we tried. We tried to give you a roof. And that's what, what was Harris, talking about $25,000 for new home buyers. Good
Right.
luck. No senior will pay more than $2,000 in for drugs and Medicare. Not anymore. Oh,
Bye.
well. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Bobby. Fuck your $35 insulin.
Bye-bye negotiating for cheaper drug prices
Yes.
for Medicare.
He did that too? Goodbye. Okay, great. That means we all pay top dollar. Good luck. Good luck. And until, we get Democrats back in office, or worthy Democrats, if that's even a thing, who knows? For fuck's sake. That's why I'm like, Rumsfeld, you go to war with the army you got, not the one you want. But these are the Democrats we got? Come on. Nancy Pelosi, retire. We need younger people in there. It's enough already. You've fucked us enough. And the thing, okay, Nancy's done some good things. Okay.
Yeah. What did Cromwell say?
What?
In the name of God, go. For what good you have done enough. In the name of God, go.
Just go, Nancy. You're 80-something years old,
That's not to take away the good things that she did.
Yeah, she got the ACA through and all that, but she's good at the things. What's that?
As Speaker, she did her damn job. As Speaker, she did the best job of any speaker in modern history.
I think so, but
it's time to. I mean, if it she kind of sat there while they were running the coup on Joe.
Mm-hmm. Well, she added to it. Yeah. She was the one that was like, I think, she whatever.
Yeah, well, you're a member of the gerontocracy too, hon.
Well, she could stay there and mentor younger Democrats from the sidelines, but
I don't know if I want her mentoring anybody.
But I mean, it's better than that's what I'm just saying.
What she did to AOC in the for ranking member in oversight.
Right, but that's what I mean. Like, if she wanted to, she could have been like, "Oh, we're grooming the younger people, and I'll be the wise old advisor here." But she can't let go of power, just like Traitor Trump. He couldn't let go of power either. And God help us, because now we're fucked for 4 years at least. Even if the Democrats get in the midterms, which hopefully they will, nothing's going to get done. He's not going to sign anything. Like, what's he going to do? We got 4 years of this shit. 4 years of polluting, of raping the environment, of fucking animals. Like, forget endangered species. Forget any species hanging by a thread. Forget farm animals, the poor suffering fucking carcasses that piece of shit puts in his mouth without a... I hate these people. You know what he did last time, and I talk about it because it's just so emblematic. The last time he took the inspectors off the factory, slaughtered the death line, yes. And allowed more shit, toenails, vulvas, penises, things that humans don't digest into the food supply. And that's somebody that you think you're the forgotten man. He just basically said he don't give a shit if you eat shit. Yeah. And the FDA inspectors blew the whistle, and they went on TV, but nobody gave a shit, and said, look, Americans are going to get sick, and they won't know why, because this fucker lowered the standards. He took, and that because the standards used to be 6 inspectors on the murder line, and then it turned to, hey, you got any shit, vulva, toenails, nostril, whatever's in your meat? No, all good. Just the good stuff. Okay, great, thanks.
I remember back in the days of, and we may not be out of them. I remember back in the days of pink slime, there was a counter ad to McDonald's Chicken McNuggets, and I don't know which other fast food the company it was, but well, parts is parts.
Right.
I'll never forget. I will never forget
I hate these
first
people.
time I actually read the ingredient label on a can of potted meat.
No, that's why I can't. I don't eat animals.
No.
Anyway, but everybody's.
What did Bismarck say? Law and sausages?
Mm-hmm.
The 2 things you never want to see made.
True, but the next 4 years, anyone who is not a rich white male is fucked. So good luck to everyone. So yeah. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? No.
As Micah just said, it's kind of like what happened with the FAA and the aviation industry, and we know how that turned out.
Right, that's right. Well, deregulation, all those pesky...
Job-killing regulation.
Yeah, all those pesky regulations that make, you not blow up in the middle of... Or, when you go up, you land. You don't just fall from the sky. So, but, hey, somebody's got to make a buck. How many people have to die for another zero on these fuckers' bank accounts that they'll never miss in a million lifetimes? But it's the corruption.
But they could spend in it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like, this is the problem right here. And people.
And I take some solace. I mean, I take it where I can find it right now. And, you know, we don't have 500-year lifespans as humans. We don't have 200-year. We barely have 10-decade lifespans if we're lucky.
Right.
And as the film buff that I am, I keep thinking of the opening of Citizen Kane.
Rosebud.
You know,
when he dies.
That snow globe rolling out of his hand.
Yeah. This too shall pass.
Yeah.
It will. It will. And that's what I hope, that it's going to be such a disaster that, but
there's probably going to come a time, because he is his father's son, when Nitwit Nero will not recognize his own spawn.
Yeah. Right.
Or his own wife.
Yeah. Well, he's you know, got, this is somebody that fucking swayed to the music for 40 minutes instead, because he couldn't take questions. So
people were talking about as old 666 himself, Ronald Wilson Reagan, entered his second term. People were already talking about the fact that he wasn't all there.
That's right. Well, and they were signing, you know, we all know that.
They kept it on the DL until he left.
Because it's about power.
Then, you know, a couple of weeks later, we found out he had Alzheimer's, and he was never heard from again.
Yeah. Well, that'll be nice.
You know, maybe just because, you know me and my poetry, right? Maybe there's a little poetry here that might speak to the moment. Percy Bysshe Shelley. There it is.
Oh my God. Wait. Sorry. Go ahead. No. I'm reading some leopards eating my face, which might be funny to end with, but go ahead.
This just gives me comfort. I met a traveler from an antique land who said, 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip, think of the picture, think of the 2025 presidential portrait.
Oh, I know.
Whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that it sculptor well those passions red which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed, and on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Of nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away. You know, I love the multiple meanings within that, because when Ozymandias commanded the statue be made, he did so that everyone would look at the magnificence of his works. No one could ever live up to him. But then it becomes ironic when you think about the fact that it's a colossal wreck in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing lasts.
Yeah, but we won't be there either to see it. So.
No, but I'm really dedicated to outliving that fucker.
No, me too. But I mean, as you're talking like, by the time everything crumbles. I mean, well, Henry VIII, that wasn't too long ago. He built a magnificent palace called Nonsuch that they don't even know where it is. Like, it was bigger than, because he wanted to become, have the biggest, most ostentatious palace, and yeah, they don't even know.
And by the way, they couldn't even get the tech right for the mockery of the Constitution earlier today.
Oh no, really?
So, yeah, poor Carrie Underwood had to sing a cappella.
Oh, good. Well, that goes to show you they don't do anything well, which is a saving grace. So, I really wonder. Let me see if we're going to get any opinions from the villages about their drug prices going up. What do they think about it? But I'm looking at leopards eating my face, and here, this is a real tweet. I'm Hispanic and voted for Trump. Nobody told me this dude hated Mexicans. All he's talking about is deporting Mexicans. Bruh, what the fuck? And somebody writes back, surely you're joking. And he writes, no, I don't keep up with politics, so I wasn't aware of this mass Mexican deportation. Scum.
Pack your bag.
Yep. And then here's Caitlyn Jenner. Congratulations, Mr. President. Thanks be to God. And someone wrote, so what gender does he now define you as? True. Very true. You going into the ovens too, bitch.
Surprised nobody called her Bruce.
Right. That I would imagine. Let's go on her. Let me see, actually. Maybe that's... I'm sure that's happening. Every time I've seen clips of her from CPAC. She'll give like a speech at CPAC, and they're inevitably hounding her out the door, calling her Bruce.
Calling Bruce.
Yes.
Dude.
Yes. It's disgraceful. It's disgusting. Let me see, Caitlyn Jenner. I bet you that. I mean, why not call her it? Isn't all this, it's all fair game. Oh, there she is. Well, here's Caitlyn Jenner. Oh, God, she's posing with Elon Musk. Oh, no. Thanks be to God. Wow.
Well, that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
If she's willing to pose with someone who openly hates and wants to destroy trans lives. Well,
right. It's incredible how...
That's on you, Katie.
The Stockholm Syndrome is so incredible. And somebody writes, I'm very confused about your support for Trump. And attaching an article saying, as of today, I will henceforth be... It will henceforth be the... Henceforth. He thinks he's, henceforth. The official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female. Well, whatever. You can only say there is two ice cream, vanilla and chocolate.
Well, I mean, do you consider yourself a redhead, Irish woman that you are?
I don't consider myself. Whatever.
I'm just asking because
why?
Because in that there's only two genders thing.
Mm-hmm.
Intersex people exist in about the same proportions globally as true redheads.
Yeah.
So
I don't dye my hair, except my roots, but
that's a pretty good. I mean, that's a lot of people to say don't exist.
Of course, it's batshit crazy. It's fucking pathetic. It's ridiculous. It's so absolutely, stupid. It's just so ridiculous for these infants. That's what it is. They're infants. It's like, the world is scary and complex. That's to them, right? It's to me. I think the world has a beautiful diversity. It's very interesting. Don't you want? Isn't it great? It's not like
white supremacy. White supremacy can't even be. What is white supremacy? It's just. It's potato salad with salt and raisins.
I know. It's like unreal.
I love world cuisines.
Yeah,
okay?
Why limit yourself?
I want to know how people all over this planet go about sitting down and breaking bread together.
Right. And
how do you sing? What kind of music do you make? What does dance look like?
Not them.
Nothing but white people doing it.
That's scary.
The next 4 years, right?
It's too scary to them. They are. That's why I go back to my original thesis that they lack the fundamental maturity to function in a free democratic society, in a free modern democratic society. If you want a shithole theocracy, that's there for you.
Democracy is hard work.
Yes, it takes maturity.
Living under a fascist dictatorship, the only thing that requires is that you keep your head down, try not to be noticed, and then go quietly when they come for you in the middle of the...
Well, that's why it's Daddy's home, Let Daddy do the work. I don't want to do anything. I want him to fix everything.
Daddy can't get up before noon.
He's not. He's doing. I mean, the work is.
He can't get a decent night's sleep because he has to get up and go pee about 6 times every night.
But it's the see, that's why they go after trans people. I was thinking about it today too. Again, like just wondering, like, what's this fucking pathology? But it's all about their making sure that everyone is in their place. You know, if there's only two genders, that means, you know, men are at the top and everybody else just get in line. But what does it mean if people can be trans? What does that mean? That means the whole conservative ideology is based in bullshit, and it is.
It's like the passport. At one point in time, I think under the Biden administration's rules, you could simply choose for your gender marker X for non-binary people, people who don't experience one end of the binary or the other.
Right.
And arguably, as Victoria was saying, we were talking earlier, she's like, I think everybody's non-binary. There's nobody that's 100% girl or 100% boy.
Don't tell them that.
I mean, it's not defined by occupation. It's not. I mean, it is defined culturally. You know. But you know, to just say, I'm sorry, your lived reality.
Right.
It's no longer recognized by the government of the United States.
I know, right? No, it's just.
And so I got weird choices I have to make.
Right.
I have changed my name legally. I don't think they can change my Social Security back.
No, it's like when Bush came out on the lawn and said that they were going to push this constitutional amendment making marriage a sacred bond between a man and a woman. It's all, you know, you're in the fucking barrel now, you know. And I remember when watching that and sitting there thinking, my God, this country, you know, is horrible. How can they do this? And attacking, and then all they're going to do is make gay people targets. And what does it matter? Like, who cares? Like, isn't this a matter of?
But I mean, we are where we are, and we have to acknowledge the reality. So there are already cases out there in the pipeline right now. I forget what state I read it's coming from, but I think it's Idaho, and I think there are some religious Lulus who are just simply offended by the idea that two men or two women could get married. And so this is the is the kind of case that Clarence Pubes on the Coke can Fappy Thomas was asking for in his concurrence to Dobbs when he said, bring me a gay marriage case, bring me an anti-sodomy case, bring me a case for everything except my marriage to a white woman.
Right.
So that we can overturn the idea of substantive due process and take rights away from all of these marginalized communities.
Right.
And of course, my legislature comes into session on February the 12th, and I am as nervous as a wax cat sitting in the air-conditioned anteroom to hell, because sooner or later that door is going to open on February 12th, and who knows what they'll try to do to us.
What doors on February 12th? What?
I said, like, I feel like a wax cat in the air-conditioned anteroom to hell, because the doors to hell are going to open on February 12th when my legislature comes into session.
Oh, okay.
They will be back.
Oh, yeah.
Me.
I know that you're going to be. That's it. Because that's what else do they got? Drug prices, egg prices, living wages. You know.
But what choice do we have? Lay down and die and get compliance that they want?
No, I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. What do you think I'm saying?
I don't think you are. I'm just trying to sort out in my own mind. What's the alternative? I mean, I either
you gotta live.
I either give in or I fight.
Right. And there's no giving in, and you're not alone. And this is why, you know, and when I call my legislators, I was telling you, I don't know if I was well, whatever, it doesn't matter. But when they were going after Sarah McBride about going to the bathroom, you know, and I called my legislators is like, this is the time to not compromise with these monsters. That when if Sarah McBride has to go to the bathroom, every Dem needs to get the fuck up with her and say, "Oh, you want to send the sergeant of arms after her? You got to come through all of us."
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
I don't know if you saw the puff piece that the Washington Post wrote about her.
No.
She said, "Well, I knew they'd do this, and so I had a plan already in place where I wasn't going to use any public restrooms at all."
Oh my God.
She was going to use the whip's restroom and the minority leader's restroom and the restroom in her office. Of course, the trans people who work inside the Capitol don't have that luxury.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you know,
and
if
what it like, I guess
back and work on Capitol Hill again, I'm not going to be able to just go sashaying down to Sarah's office and knock on the door and say, "May I use your potty, please?"
Right.
And
well, I guess they'll be like, "Oh, you can use my bathroom. No, you can use mine." But it's like that's not good enough. That's not good enough. It has to be, you know, that it has to be a united front with the Democrats.
No, you know, I want to see how they're going to enforce this. Nobody carries their birth certificate around.
Right.
You know.
Well, that's why I mean, was perjury Trader Green going to stand there and say, "Let me see your pee-pee"? I mean, Nancy Mace, and let them do it because guess what?
Nancy, I didn't know you were into girls. Here, have a look.
Exactly. But you know right, because this, you know, like okay, sorry, I'm saying you know and like a lot. I'm sick. I try to say. This is one of the things I hate about myself, but not hate, but you know, criticize.
No self-loathing.
Yes, a little bit. Yeah. I try. I'm trying. So, okay, this too shall pass. There is no. I know we're in the barrel now, and it's gonna get worse. But they're on the wrong side of history, and they will not come out as the heroes here. No matter what.
And this is still the Dr. King holiday, and that is the far more important day today than anything that orange lump of adipose fat did.
Yeah. And so there you go, right?
And so you know there in that era, there were people who wanted to keep their heads down and just wait for a better day, and there were others who said we have to find a way to affect change.
Mm-hmm.
And there were different theories on it. I mean, if you go all the way back to the Southern Exposition of like the 1890s in Atlanta, you know, there was a school of thought. There were two schools of thought about civil rights for the black community. One was espoused by Booker T. Washington, who said, "Hey, let's just go along. Let's just not make waves." And then there were people like W.B. Du Bois.
Yeah. Right.
No.
Right.
We've got to fight.
Yes.
And so you come into the civil rights era, and you've got the split of opinion between Dr. King's philosophy, and then you've got the SNCC, and then you've got then you've got Malcolm out there, Malcolm X, by any means necessary.
Right.
But the thing that they all had in common was that they understood that the situation was intolerable.
Right.
And that change had to come, and somebody had to be the change they wanted to see in the world, as Gandhi said.
Well, this is intolerable, but the thing is, as far as trans people, they have so turned the attention of the maggots onto and average people too, because I'm even seeing it in the chat room tonight. They're saying, well, this is about protecting women's sports, and it's just not true.
No,
of
that's
course.
Just horseshit.
Yeah,
and I can deconstruct that in a matter of minutes.
Right, and it's
not seconds.
Because they gotta wrap it in this bullshit. They can't just say we hate trans people. They're like, for example, some of them do, but when I was reading Caitlyn Jenner's tweet. This fucking guy, he's a maggot. He writes, and his description of himself on Twitter is: seeing the world from many eyes, hearing through many ears, knowledge is power. Now, assuming this is a real person, which you don't know anymore, because the Russian bots are.
It might be some bots at Troll Farm working for his daily tournament.
Because they're all the bots are so they're maggots, of course. But this person writes, Bruce, what bathroom do you use? I don't want you around my daughter or my son. It's not because you're trans. Nobody cares. It's because you support the rape of adults and minors. What the fuck does that mean? You support the rape of adults? I guess.
But here, let's just be clear. Every talking point against trans women in sports does not stand up to scrutiny.
No.
Okay.
Right.
And I mean, and this is with science.
Mm-hmm.
The International Olympic Committee's own Blue Ribbon panel did years of research and found out that trans women are actually weaker than cis women when it comes to sports in everything except, I think, grip.
Grip. Okay. Grip. Well, yeah. What was that? The trans swimmer?
Yeah. Well, Leah Thomas. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Leah Thomas came in tied for 4th.
I know. It's not like she's like
with Riley Gaines, the professional grievance artist. Okay, Riley Gaines only bitches about for 4th, but she doesn't have shit to say about the 3 cis women who whipped both her and Leah Thomas's white asses.
Right.
In that swim meet. Okay.
I know.
The woman who owns all the records in women's swimming ain't a trans woman. She's cis.
And beat the trans woman. So I don't know. Like it's not a problem until they make it a problem. That's the thing.
There are maybe 10.
Right.
That's the number that just recently came out.
And what about kids?
There are maybe 10 intercollegiate athletes in women's sports who are trans. In the state of Michigan, there are maybe 6 trans athletes of either gender. Mm-hmm. And they have to jump through hoops and show that they're on medicine and all kinds of stuff.
Right.
But there are 168 cis girls playing high school boys football.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's like, way to go. We can do it, right?
Yeah, sure.
Right. Which is, I mean, the whole thing. I mean, think about when they're going after trans kids now, that because they want to have them go through the traumatic experience of puberty in the wrong body. And it's
puberty's not easy if you're cis.
No, it's just
it is 1,000 times worse if you are not cis.
And they're like, well, cutting off. They don't cut off anybody's so this is what I'm saying. Everything is a lie that they have to spread about, and it's about tearing people apart, hurting people. And they can get away with it so far with trans people because of the confusion of, not the confusion of the trans people, of the regular, not normal, the cis people. I'm sorry. That's the wrong choice of words. The majority who don't know, they haven't been thinking about this. So they're susceptible to the misinformation. So, you know what I mean? And especially the maggots who are so afraid anyway, and they get everything backwards. That's why, Nancy Mace has to say things like women are being raped in bathrooms because you got to make the situation into a physical threat against you somehow. Otherwise, maybe you don't care. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's but it's.
Not to get too far into the weeds, but she's such an idiot.
She's horrible.
Because trans women taking HRT, hormone replacement therapy, makes things not work anymore.
But it's that's just too.
It's physically impossible for what she says she is afraid of.
I know.
to happen.
It's not, because it's not a thing. If there's a person dressed as a woman, if there's a man dressed as a woman in the ladies' room looking to rape somebody, that's somebody who's like a serial killer, sociopath. And it's a man. It's not a woman. It's not a trans woman. So it's something that should be, they should be arrested and investigated
Well,
by the FBI Behavioral Bureau.
Consequences. If they were to get their wish, and women of transgender experience have to use men's restrooms, is it okay if trans women, once they begin to be assaulted by some disgusting man in there,
that's what's going to happen.
Is it okay to hose him down with bear spray or mace or pepper spray? So that
probably not.
You can safely get away from him.
No. But that's it. It's all about setting up the division while the rich steal, and while they funnel more money into Clarence Thomas's pockets and the rest of the conservatives who are bought and paid for on the Supreme Court, to undo every stopgap to the buying of money in politics, and this is what's happening. I mean, the trans people are the
Canary in the line?
Well, yeah, it's the easy target. It's like, look over here, just like the Nazis. Right?
Yeah, exactly. We're exactly where we were. And remember, of course, Joanne Rowling or Robert Galbraith or whatever they're calling themselves these days, said that no trans people were tormented during the Holocaust.
That's what she said. What?
Yes, she said that.
Well,
But I want to move away from this just for a minute.
Sorry.
I do have to get out of here. It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, we always.
Micah is sending along things as she finds them. First of all, I haven't said it out loud yet, I don't think, this evening, but we can now do away with this notion that he didn't know what Project 2025 was and had no intention of putting it in place, because everything that we have mentioned this evening can be found within the four corners of Project 2025.
Yes.
So this, a little bit ago, via Reuters, nearly 1,660 Afghans cleared by the U.S. government to resettle in the U.S., including family members of active duty U.S. military personnel, are having their flights canceled under President Donald Trump's order suspending U.S. refugee programs, a U.S. official and leading refugee resettlement advocate said on Monday. The group includes unaccompanied minors waiting reunification with their families in the U.S., as well as Afghans at risk of Taliban retribution because they fought for the former U.S.-backed Afghan government, said Sean Vandeveer, head of the Afghan EVAC coalition of U.S. veterans and advocacy groups in the U.S., and the U.S. official who spoke on condition of anonymity. Did you catch that one line? Including family members of active duty U.S. military. Well, they are being denied re-entry to the United States of America.
This is what happened last time, too. He was deporting service members.
I don't know if I did a good enough job trying to explain this 14th Amendment business, this birthright citizenship business. They can if they get away with abrogating the 14th Amendment, if anybody goes abroad, they can be forbidden from re-entry.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Or even, detained and put in a camp, imprisoned.
Right. Oh, wow.
Under the abuse of discretion of some maggot functionary. Mm-hmm. But I got to roll out of here.
Okay.
And get the upload started.
Okay. Sorry for.
No.
No, I'm sorry. I said normal people earlier instead of. I wasn't. You know what I meant.
Yeah. No.
Trans people are normal people. No, I was just saying, the majority people.
Yeah, sure. It doesn't. But the fact of the matter is, I've known this for a very long time. Normal is only a setting on a dryer.
Yes, I struggle for the word sometimes, but yeah. And
you call me Abby.
Abby Normal. That's right. I remember that from from Young
Frank-
Frankenstein. My father and I went to see that. And well, he took me. I was little. I didn't understand all the jokes, but he was laughing, so I was laughing too. So.
Like taffeta.
And oh
taffeta.
yes, and we went to see Blazing Saddles too. He took me to that. I understood that. I thought that was fun because they were farting and things. I was a kid, and I remember coming home and telling my friends in the neighborhood about when they were eating beans, and then he came out. I think you guys had enough because they were farting, right?
Yep.
Anyway, but if you look at Caitlyn Jenner's Twitter feed, it's all congrats, Bruce. Yeah. I'll give thanks when your driver's license is revoked. These are all different people, you know. New rule. Are you a man? See how this works? Bruce, you owned yourself. Congratulations. Now you will have to change your name back to Bruce. I mean, these are all different people. They're just inundating her. When are you changing you back to Bruce? Wow. Wow. I don't understand, the allegiance to your own demise.
And there she is, the former ESPN Woman of the Year.
Wow. There you go. It's incredible.
Something.
Yeah, it's just, all right, we live in interesting times. It sucks. I'd like it to be a little less interesting, right?
I don't think we're going to get any really properly. No, I'm not going to get properly
I
dull.
mean, in a perfect world, we wouldn't be doing a show on politics and trying to save America from fascism. We would be doing shows like on cats, you know, like community cats, helping animals.
I made an absolutely awesome pot of potato soup this evening.
Booty. She was in a deep sleep. Oh yeah, you made a pot of what?
Homemade potato soup and cornbread.
That sounds good. I love. Sounds perfect.
Yeah. And I tinkered with the recipe and succeeded. It's actually dill pickle potato soup.
Oh, okay. That sounds pretty good. I love potatoes and I love cornbread. I love corn.
Yeah, it's delicious.
It sounds. Well, you're a great cook, so.
If we ever do another
you're
horn
a good chef.
If we ever do another horn in, I'll make sure I make cornbread for you.
Please do. I would love it. I will love it. So, all right, listen. Let's get together again and figure out.
We absolutely will.
What the fuck is going on? Sorry for curse. I don't know. Do I curse too much? This is how I curse.
No, I mean, for this, there are no rules.
Yeah, I guess I should kind of tamp it down because of YouTube. I think they don't like it, but I don't know. Whatever. It's been a battle I've had since I was a child. My mother washed my mouth out with soap, for real.
No, I had that. Yeah, and I still remember the brand of soap. It was a laundry soap called Octagon.
Oh no, I remember Octagon.
Oh, it was hateful.
I think mine was just an Ivory, or maybe it was Irish Spring. Come to think of it, which was typical because we were Irish. Of course, we use Irish Spring. All right.
You have a wonderful evening.
All right.
I hope you know that.
What?
I love you dearly.
I love you too. Yeah. We'll get through it.
And we had a blast last week filling in for Malloy.
Oh yeah, except when I couldn't talk, but
And now he's safely home, so I assume that he will be on air, in fact, in a matter of about 9.
Oh, all right. You better tune in.
Yeah. Progressive Voices on Tune In, y'all.
All right, honey. Let's get together later and stay safe, stay awesome, and I'll see you soon. All right, my friend.
Love you.
All right, love you too. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, I'm just trying to hang up. No, you hang up. Uh-oh. All right, there you go. See you later. All right, guys. Here comes Tara Jr. Come here, honey. Get over here, you pain in my ass. Aw. All right. I need my emotional support animals. Don't we all? Let's see. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this. Oh, Cranky. He's such a boss, this cat. He is bossy. Are you bossy? Yes. He just likes to yell at me. He really does. You got to see the way his tone sometimes. It's like, "Meow, meow." All right, I sound like a nut job, but hey, what are you gonna do? As Jim says on the chat, oh look, the USA sucks. It does, doesn't it? Oh brother. Nice to see JD safely across the pond in England watching the shit show. But we got 4 years of this, and it's gonna be fun. Not so fun. Look at Boudica. Look at her. She's so good. Buddha? Buddha? You know your name, right? Good girl. Where's she? She's like licking her fur. What, you got a hot date? You didn't tell me about, Booty? All right, listen, guys. I'm going to hang up and get unconscious. I need to get unconscious to feel like maybe, there's no Republicans in my dreams. No Trump. In fact, for a blissful moment this morning, I got to say that when I woke up, I totally forgot that it was the inauguration of the Traitor. And then it all came flooding back. Yeah, 2 years until the midterms. And, executive order. I don't understand. Okay, we won't get into it, but, like, all these executive orders. Okay, whatever. Don't you need laws, too? We don't live in a monarchy. But, what do I know? I'm just Tara from Tarabuster. All right, listen, guys. We generally don't have a show on Monday. Maybe we'll have one on Wednesday. I don't know. We have to see. How the week goes. Probably, maybe we'll do another simulcast. I like those simulcasts. I hope you do too. Listen to Junior. Listen to him. Listen to his tone. Where's my phone? I'm trying to get my phone so I can turn on the phone cam. There we go. Turn around. Is this the upside down one? Come here. Look over here. Look at him. How cute. All right, don't step on the damn keyboard. Turn around, Junior. He's got like some acne on his. Every now and then I fall apart. Where are you? Where are you? Where's your head? Okay. Listen, guys. Listen. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you, Roxanne Kincaid, for hanging out tonight. Become a patron if you can at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News, for all you do to keep the show going and growing, and all your support of the community cats. Look at him. Guys, we will win one day. One day. Why? How do you know this, Tara? Why? Well, you know why? Because we're on the right side of history. Right, Junior? We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. Oh, wait. Let's look at Boudica. Look at Buddha. Frame her up. Hi, Buddha. You're so cute. All right, back to... I know. You want to be focus of attention. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you for hanging out, everyone. It means a lot. I feel okay. Not great, but... Do I feel hope? No. Not much, but hey, one day at a time. We got through it last time. We'll get through it, and hopefully it'll be the impetus for a new progressive era. Oh, you're jumping down now, are you? Okay. Great. My name is Tarabuster. Thank you for hanging out, everyone. Yes, Twisted Nerves Painting. Thanks. Nice to see you there. Everybody check out Twisted Nerves Painting's channel for some awesome art and relaxation. Yes, this is Black Monday 2025, Ed on the chat. That's why, what did I say? Oh, yeah, it's the worst day of the rest of our lives. It can only go, well, we're going to go down further, but then, what do you say? Winter always turns to spring? That's very true. It's always darkest before the dawn? I don't know. Maybe the Democrats will get a clue. Well, I'm going to do my best to help them get a clue. But, yeah. So, let's see what happens during the week. Hopefully, we'll have another show. That'll be nice. Something different. But we definitely have Fridays at 8:30-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you for hanging out. And I will see you during the week. Stay safe.